Hi everybody. This video is walking you guys through your first essay assignment, and basically this essay is a non-researched, not required essay, and you guys are going to be looking at a topic of your own choosing, constructing an argumentative essay around that topic and that stance. So the prompt is pretty simple. You're going to create an argumentative essay with a clearly stated position on an issue of your choosing with solid and relevant evidence. So you guys get to choose your own topic, but whatever you do choose is must be approved by myself. The reason for that is because this not only is going to be the basis of your first essay, but it will also be the basis of your second essay. So whatever topic and stance you choose for this one, you have to keep in your second essay. So I know what the requirements are for the second essay, where you are going to be adding research. You're also going to be interviewing a subject matter expert. So you want to choose something that you can do good, solid research on in your second essay, and also have a subject matter expert you can reach out to, whether that's a professor, a doctor, someone in law, or someone on the police force, or a religious figure, whoever it might be. Just make sure that you kind of consider that when you think about what you want to talk about. So as I noted, you do need to make sure that you have a solid topic and a solid stance. So for the purposes of this essay, you cannot simply explore both sides of the issue. You need to take a stance on the issue. Even if you yourself are not wholly decided on what your stance is, you have to choose one side or the other for the purposes of this essay and for the purposes of your second essay. So just some examples of things you guys might consider. I've had students who have written about all kinds of things, whether that is using hormones in beef, or big topics like abortion, or whether COVID vaccines should be mandated in the workplace, or down to things like nuclear energy, how that should be better funded by the government, or even things like increasing paid leave for both paternal and both paternity and maternity leave in the corporate workplace. Whatever you choose, I want you to again make sure it's a clear and argumentative topic, something that you can make an argument about. So it's not qualitative, it's something that can be supported by quantitative data, also holistic and anecdotal evidence, but it's not something that is opinion based. So things like saying LeBron is the greatest of all time, while that may or may not be true, that is a qualitative state. Best or greatest or most, those are not things that can be proven necessarily with fact. That will always be, no matter how much you try and argue it, an opinion-based argument. So whatever you do need to make sure that it is grounded and rooted in fact. Something that can be quote-unquote proven by the right argumentative structures and the right evidence as well. So choose something also that you are very interested in, something you're passionate about, something you don't mind spending several weeks writing about, researching, talking about, because I don't want you to get to essay number 2 and not want to talk about this anymore. So choose something you are passionate about. And 3, please make sure that whatever you are talking about, you are approaching with delicacy and tact and fact-based reasoning, logical reasoning. Emotional arguments, while there can be an emotional component to your argument, it should not be the entire basis of your argument. For example, if you have something that is, if you say are going to talk about abortion, which is fine, whichever stance you want to take on the issue, if you root that in religious doctrine or in emotional approach to the concept, that may be effective in some respects, but in this case it needs to be rooted and grounded in logical reasoning and facts. So just be delicate and be tactful, and understand that your audience may or may not agree with you, and they may or may not be resistant to your argument, which is part of the argumentation process. So your job as the person doing the argument is to bring an audience to your perspective, whether they are in agreement with you or whether they are resistant. Now, do not think about me as your audience. Your audience needs to be a broader understanding of who this argument might be targeted to, or who it might be speaking to, beyond just me. So you guys need to make sure that you have at least 2 pages minimum in this essay. It is MLA, so it's double spaced, Times New Roman, 1-inch margins all around, header in the top left, page numbers in the top right. And I say 2 to 3 pages. You're always welcome to write more. You just can't write less. If you write less, you'll have points taken off. And this is due on Sunday, June 19th at 11:59 p.m. Everything's going to be checked for plagiarism, of course. And like I said, this topic does have to be approved by me ahead of time. So you need to identify both the topic and the stance that you are taking in this. So for example, if you're going to talk about legalizing marijuana, that may be a great argument, but you need to make it more specific by identifying the stance that you're taking. So you say, I support legalizing marijuana. However, that is still too broad, so you need to make the specifics of the argument as concrete as possible. So my question back to you in that case would be, are you talking about legalizing it on a federal or a state level? Are you talking about legalizing it up to a certain amount? Are you talking about legalizing it as recreational or medicinal? So you need to identify those parts of your stance and your topic and your argument in your proposals. So for example, a good proposal, something that would be approved, would be, I support legalizing marijuana on a national level for recreational use up to whatever, 2-3 ounces. That would be a solid topic proposal. Something that would not be solid would be, I support legalizing marijuana. There's not enough specifics to that. So your topic, like I said, does need to be approved. Your essay is going to have all the parts of an essay. So that's an introduction, a body paragraph, a conclusion, transitions, etc. You'll need to have a good thesis claim, which is basically what you're doing in your topic proposal. 3 reasons with solid evidence. And then, as you'll see, you're also going to need to consider opposing viewpoints. So what that does is it allows you to kind of combat or negate an opposing argument before it can be made. So your audience may or may not agree with you. They may or may not try to poke holes in your argument. So part of your job is to anticipate that. And so you acknowledge that there are other views on the topic and what those might be, but then you have to refute them. You have to basically disprove them or show why your view is actually stronger. So for example, going back to the legalizing marijuana proposal, the counter argument or the opposing argument might be something like, I don't know, legalizing marijuana would create a negative impact on existing industries within the state or something like that. You would acknowledge that. You would say some people believe that this is the case, and then you would refute it and you would say, however, doing so would actually create more jobs and a larger industry within the state. For example, look at, say, Colorado, where it has benefited the state by X number of dollars per year. That would be how you do a counter argument and a refutation. So you guys are going to have 2 parts to your grade on this essay. There's an assignment you're going to complete, which is an outline. So by completing the outline, you're going to get 20 points towards your essay grade automatically. So the goal is to make sure that you guys get some help in boosting your grade if you need it. If you don't need it, it's just a nice little bit of bonus on the grade. And then the final essay is you're going to submit that to the submission link, and you will get comments and feedback on your actual essay as well. So together, that will be 80% of your essay grade, and the outline will be 20%. So if you have any questions on this, let me know. I'm here and I'm happy to chat, or if you have questions or ideas that you want to run by me, feel free. But again, I want you guys to choose something that you're interested in, something you're passionate about, something you don't mind spending several weeks kind of writing about and researching. And let me know if you have any questions at all.